Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Justin here. As always, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Do me a favor, take a couple seconds of your time and like this video. Drop a comment below. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, especially if you've already watched a couple of my videos and you're not subscribed. Just hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you. Today we're going to be talking about the new movie Pig, starring Nicolas Cage, Alex Wolff, and Adam Arkin. It was written by Michael Sarnowski and Vanessa Block. It's actually the directorial debut of Michael Sarnowski. Now, the premise of Pig could be very simply described as telling the story of Nick Cage's character, a lonely, isolated old man, a truffle hunter in the deep woods of Oregon, who lives with just him and his pig and spends his time hunting for truffle mushrooms deep in the woods all by himself. He sells them to this local restaurateur played by Alex Wolff, who appears once a week to get his pickup that he sells to local restaurants around town. That's the very simple, basic premise. And what happens at the very beginning of the movie is somebody breaks into Nicolas Cage's house, bashes him over the head, and steals his beloved pig. That is the basic outline of the movie, but I'm telling you right now, guys, the movie is so much more than that. Now, you may have heard this movie described by people who hadn't seen it that this is just John Wick with a pig, or some sort of violent, crazy Nick Cage revenge movie, and I'm pleasantly surprised to tell you, in fact, it's not really so much a revenge story at all. Yes, the movie does revolve around Nick Cage digging back into his past, going back to his old hometown, meeting some old friends and enemies to locate this pig, but that journey doesn't involve crazy fight scenes or Rage Cage bashing people's heads in. But what it really is Nick Cage's character reconciling with his past, his loss, his pain, his grief, everything that's led him to be a reclusive man living alone in the woods with a pig. And Nicolas Cage's character's journey is one that you will not soon forget. This movie absolutely blew me away. Not only was it not what I expected, but it was more than I could have ever expected based on the premise of this film. Now, the first 10 minutes of this movie really sets up the serene tone and the life that Nick Cage has been living for the last 10 years as he goes about day to day, cooking his pig breakfast, sitting out in this amazingly beautiful, serene Oregon forest, and you really get a sense, even though it's just a few minutes at the beginning of the movie, that him and his pig, that is his whole life. That is Nick Cage's character's life, and he seems to be, at least as much as he can, in some sort of peace. There's a couple clues within that opening scene that hints to his past life and shows that he may be dealing with some sadness from something that happened earlier in his life. Within these opening scenes, we're also introduced to Alex Wolff character, the buyer of Nick Cage's mushrooms, this real slick, sort of douchey city guy who pulls up in a Camaro dressed to the nines. He does a fantastic job as this character, but we learn a lot about him throughout this movie. We cut to Nick Cage basically being bashed on the floor, his pig is missing, and that sends us on our journey to find out what the hell happened to his pig. Right from the beginning of the movie, you can tell that great care was taken into the look and the cinematography and the camera work that's in this film. It's absolutely beautiful. Even though it's a debut feature, it feels really competently helmed. Scenes of him walking through the Oregon forest and the streams and the foggy trees and the landscape, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. From then we start to meet all of our characters, and I have to say that is where this movie absolutely shines, in these amazing performances from these actors, specifically but not limited to Nicolas Cage. This is easily the best performance he has done in years. All the performances in this movie are extremely subtle and nuanced and understood, but they're all just perfect. Each individual scene, monologue, every bit of dialogue, every close-up and look is so impactful. But Nicolas Cage is just absolutely incredible in this movie. This really shows what Nicolas Cage can do with a good script, not worrying about being this crazy caricature of what Nick Cage can be. This is easily one of his most subtle performances and one of his most standout performances that I've seen him do in years. And Alex Wolff is absolutely incredible in this role as well. His character has an amazing arc throughout the movie that really shows his range. I just saw him in Old, which I just posted a review for, and I've seen him in Hereditary, and a couple of other things where I see him doing this really heavy, dramatic acting, and this shows that he can do all kinds of different things as far as playing different sorts of characters. Really natural characters that don't have to be in hysterics all the time. He gives a really subtle performance, going from a kind of sleazy, kind of shitty city guy to somebody who obviously has depth. With each new stop and each new location that they revisit on this journey to find Nicolas Cage's pig, another layer of the onion is peeled back on Nick Cage's old life that reveals just another layer of depth in his character, and it really, really pays off at the end and makes for a great overall journey for both of these characters. Now, the movie is divided into 3 acts as Nick Cage basically forces Alex Wolff's character to take him to all these different locations so he can find the clues and hunt down the people that took his pig. And through each journey, each scene, each transition to different location, we slowly learn more and more about each character. With each scene, it really progresses as far as learning more about each of these characters. They're really kind of along for this journey as a duo. By the end of the movie, both of these characters are extremely realized. This movie shows you that you can't judge a book by its cover, and everybody has their story, and that's really what this movie deals with. This movie really is a meditation and a poetic study on loss and grief and letting go, and not taking those frustrations, not taking out your pain and anger on those around you, because sometimes that can be really easy to do. And through this journey, both of them sort of reconcile with their past, and it just ends up being an absolutely beautiful, beautiful film. By the end of the movie, I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple tears rolling down my cheeks, and I was just blown away by the entire story and the world that this movie set up. Between Old, although that movie's a little bit more on the absurd side, and seeing Pig today, both of these movies weigh so heavy with the themes of valuing the time that we have here, valuing the time that you have with the people in your life. And Pig just absolutely knocked it out of the park and just punched me right in the heart, man. And it really, really got me. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's absolutely beautiful. Nick Cage is absolutely wonderful in this movie, and so is Alex Wolff. Really, really impressive stuff from everybody involved, being that this is a debut feature from Michael Sarnowski and Vanessa Block writing the script. It's just a beautiful film, and I hope people go out and see it, because it's amazing. It really is an incredible film. So guys, let me know what you thought of Pig. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Drop your comments and thoughts down below, and I think we're done here, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for stopping by and spending a little time talking about movies with me. I appreciate it. Stay weird, always be yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I love movies. Gosh, I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them.